meteorologist Mark Molnar here with Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. So much to talk about in the world of tropics here. An explosion of tropical systems we need to watch here. Tropical storm Nicholas in the western Gulf will be affecting the coastline of Texas, eastern Texas, and Louisiana. Heavy rain, wind. I'll break down all the rainfall totals and what impacts. Does this have the possibility of becoming a hurricane? I'll let you in on that as well. We'll go over what I think and what the models are doing. Also, the system just north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, that system moves north of the Bahamas towards the latter portion of the week, and it could develop into something and affect the U.S. East Coast. I'll go over all that with you and the possibilities. Two systems out by the Cape Verde Islands, one in particular just south of the Cape Verdes that bears watching, and east of the Azores as well. If that weren't enough, wow, this is craziness. We have severe weather just about every day at some portion of the northeast part of the United States. We'll go all the way from Sunday evening all the way to Thursday and break that all down for you. Severe weather coverage in the southeast part of the U.S. as well. We'll go over all the model data. Subscribe, hit the bell button so you're alerted when I come up with one of these videos. Comment or question down below. There are timestamps down below if you wish to skip ahead. Let's get right into it. And the big story in the tropics is Tropical Storm Nicholas just forming Sunday morning here. Rapidly becoming a strong tropical storm by the time evening of Monday, up to 65 mile per hour winds. Tuesday morning, about 70 miles per hour. It's going to be very close to Category 1 hurricane. There's a slight window for this to become a Category 1 hurricane. But the window is very narrow because this will be moving to the north. And then once it makes landfall, probably Tuesday morning, this system starts to really move slow. There's nothing to kick the system out to the north. The steering currents become very weak as it gets caught in this pattern that's got extremely weak steering currents. And this is really bad news from Houston on eastward here because into parts of western Louisiana. So from East Texas, western Louisiana, that's where the biggest heavy rain potential is. I'm going to go over just how much rainfall we could see out of Tropical Storm Nicholas here. So look at that. Once it makes landfall, it's going to be a very process inland here. And the tropics out here. In addition to Nicholas here in the western Gulf, we're watching a low pressure system north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. There's that orange area, 60% chance of development over the next 5 days, especially the latter part of the week. We'll have to watch this system as models. I'll show you in the model data, bring it very close to the North Carolina coast before recurving it. And just how close will this get and what impacts and how strong? I'll go right into that for you. Also, the 70% chance area south of the Cape Verde Islands, south of Invest 93. This is the area, another area I'm watching very closely. Models bring it up pretty close to just northeast of the islands, the Lesser Antilles out here. And then where it goes from there, it all depends on intensity. If the system goes strong, it'll find a weakness in the subtropical ridge, recurve out into the Atlantic. But if the system remains weaker and more shallow, it will stay further west and potentially affect the islands or just north of the islands. Gulf of Mexico satellite, you can see Tropical Storm Nicholas really underway here, firing that deep convection around the east side of the center of circulation here. Even some tropical moisture kind of getting entrained in here from this Invest system in the eastern Pacific. Look at that. That's going to be interesting to watch. See how that interacts here with Nicholas as Nicholas slowly heads to the north and meanders by day 2 and 3 off the Texas coastline here. So heavy rain going to be a big threat. And the rest of the Atlantic here, there's that area of low pressure just north of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. We're going to watch this for development, especially heading on into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This could have some sort of impact here across the southeast coast. And there's that system just south of the Cape Verdes, broad area of low pressure. We're going to watch this system because this has potential for development. So, model analysis of Tropical Storm Nicholas. You see the GFS has the best handle on this system. Here it is early Monday or midday Monday, just near the Texas-Mexican border, bringing it up just west of Houston by about the time Tuesday morning rolls in. So Houston on the eastern quadrant of the system here, not looking very good here. This is probably the worst case scenario for Houston. Bringing it in as a strong tropical storm and then slowly meandering it. As you can see, there's nothing really able to pick this system back up. Look at, I wanted to note this system just northeast of the Bahamas here. This is that system we're going to monitor come midweek to late week for the East Coast. And as you put it into motion, look at that. It brings it very close to the North Carolina coastline here and brings it up like so. So we're going to have to watch that. Canadian model it's having a hard time initializing since Nicholas is so new, brings it in much weaker and further west. We'll wait for another model run there. The NAM is a bit further west here, our mesoscale models, bringing it in pretty much further south and west, and definitely west, well west of Houston. Still on the east side, though, and look at that, really stalls it inland here. And the Euro also has had some initialization. We'll wait for another model run here. You can see it brings it in pretty far west. Here's the infrared simulated. Look at that. I like to put this into motion. Goes to show you how big the system could get on satellite. Look at that. For getting into early Tuesday morning, look at that deep convection really wrapping around and all that deep tropical moisture coming in from the south. Look at those big returns here in East Texas and western Louisiana. This is not looking good. There's that feature northeast of the Bahamas. And look at this. This really brings the moisture in, stalling it later Tuesday and into Wednesday. And there's that feature we'll have to watch off the southeast coast. And for the tropics, I wanted to show you the GFS here. Take a look at this. We have that system out here by the Cape Verdes. There's that other weakness out here just east of the Bahamas. That system east of the Azores we'll be watching as well. There's Nicholas. Look at this. Put this into motion. Some sort of development slowly continuing throughout the week. This is that system we're going to be watching for potential development off the East Coast. Really pinwheeling around these high-pressure systems here. And we put it into motion. Look how close it comes just off the East Coast here. There's that other low-pressure system trying to form out here. Solidifying. The GFS really picking up on it out here. That a system off the East Coast gets moved well out into the Atlantic. And as you can see, there's that low-pressure system located with that system. Does it go up here, find a weakness, or does it stay weaker and head westward? And here's a rainfall for the southeast. This is associated with Nicholas. We're looking at, look at this. Here's the key over here. We're heading anywhere from a tenth, an inch, all the way up to 12 inches here in the dark blue. You can see that is pretty much around just west of Houston, all the way to Houston, Galveston, Port Arthur, Morgan City, Louisiana here. And then we have 6 to 8 inches into the fuchsia colors here in a big area. The red is the 4 to 6 inches, getting as far east as New Orleans here. And then stretching up to a widespread area of 2 to 4 inches inland Texas here, all the way up into parts of Mississippi as well on the east side. So this is not looking very good. This is going to be the big story as this system slowly meanders and stalls inland. For the severe weather in the northeast, I wanted to show you this briefly for Sunday evening and Sunday night. Putting the NAM 3 kilometer into motion here. Take a look at this by about the time. This is late in the evening here. Lots of organized activity coming off Lake Ontario. And then we spread that system. Look at some sort of development of a line just around Buffalo. Just before or around midnight here. And then traversing nocturnally across upstate New York. So we could have some problems here, damaging wind to large hail, especially in upstate New York, the Finger Lakes, southern tier area, getting into the Catskills. So we'll be looking at some rough weather here, traversing, and then eventually into New England here. And Robert Stone, back around Labor Day, look at, he was with the National Disaster Team on his way to Louisiana from the after effects of Ida. So look at that. He snapped some snapshots on his way from the Midwest down to Louisiana. Beautiful blue skies. Look at that at the gas station there. Just a beautiful day. And as you can see here, in his travels in Ohio just a couple days ago, look at that beautiful sunset. That really nice orange sunset here across the Ohio area. Nice captures there, Robert, in your beautiful travels. And the upper air pattern across North America, you see the ridge continuing to slowly build out west again, keeping it warmer than average, but back east, we've got that troughiness here across parts of northern New England and the northern plains as well. The big story, though, is going to be the warmer conditions across the northeast this next week, feeling a little bit more like midsummer rather than late summer. And we'll be watching the tropics, especially the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Gulf for Texas, Tropical Storm Nicholas, and tropics remaining very active off the southeast coast here. We have an area of low pressure we're watching as well throughout the week. Sunday p.m., this is evening into the overnight hours. We're starting the evening off kind of warm here across the northeast into the 80s, especially from southern upstate New York, southward New York City, along the coast there. And then look at that. The big story is the strong thunderstorms in upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania from from around 5, 6, 7 p.m. and then heading southeastward towards New England towards the overnight hours. But we'll be in the thick of it here along the New York State Thruway, Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, anywhere from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Sunday evening here. Strong thunderstorms continuing southward towards Binghamton State College and Scranton, potentially towards the 8, 9, 10, 11 midnight time frame, and then into western New England by about the time of midnight, 1 a.m. So we'll be watching for this damaging wind, large hail. The main threat as this strong, vigorous cold front moves in from the northwest. And Sunday evening and into the part of the overnight for the southeast here, we have that stalled frontal boundary. The big story is going to be Tropical Storm Nicholas in the western Gulf. It's off our screen at this point, but it will be rapidly moving to the north towards Texas within time on Monday. So we got those showers and thunderstorms, some heavy along the Gulf Coast, especially from Houston to New Orleans. And Monday across the northeast, the frontal boundary sinks a little bit to the south of the New York-Pennsylvania border into southern New England. And that spells trouble for in the yellow zone here. We have pretty much from Erie, State College, Harrisburg, Atlantic City, even maybe as far east as New York City. Chance of a late-day strong thunderstorm, particularly between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. Not a widespread severe weather outbreak, but enough to cause the isolated threat of a damaging wind, large hail here. Temperatures north of the front cooling down into the 70s, but look at that. South of the front, mid to upper 80s, so feeling like summer. And then feeling more fall-like here across, especially across the Adirondacks, the White Mountains, the Berkshire Mountains, and northeastward. And the big day here across the southeast for your Monday tropical update kicking in here. It is looking rather stormy here across the southeast. This is where we have the potential later Monday into early Tuesday for landfall, probably just west of Houston. That brings Houston in on the east side of the storm. Heavy rain will be the big story, although by this point it'll probably be a very strong tropical storm, potentially has the capability of becoming a Category 1 hurricane, but at this point, definitely a strong tropical storm, bringing all that heavy moisture into the Houston area and just west of New Orleans here, where we'll be having some heavy rain and potentially some severe weather on the east side of this system, too, as it makes landfall later Monday into Tuesday, holding those temperatures down into the mid-80s from Houston to New Orleans. And Tuesday across the northeast, we stay really active here. If you notice, this is going to be the pattern this week. It's not a quiet week for sure. It's an active week. And that there into the darker greens and especially the yellow zone, slight risk of severe weather exists north of that front as it starts to come back north across western Pennsylvania. Look at that. Temperatures really warming into the 80s. Places like Erie, Binghamton, Syracuse, Buffalo, even Toronto. Staying a little cooler here in New England with that backdoor cold front. Slowly slipping to the southwest here, low to 70s here into upper 60s in parts of Maine. But there it is, that yellow zone, upstate New York, much of it into northern Pennsylvania. Chance of strong thunderstorms, particularly from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Damaging wind, large hail, the main threat. And look at that, south of the front, getting into the upper 80s to near 90. And Tuesday across the southeast, this is where we get Tropical Storm Nicholas moving inland here across the Houston area, continuing those strong showers and thunderstorms likely, some with locally flooding rains. We're going to be seeing widespread rain amounts, 5 to 10 inches, with locally higher amounts to 10 to 15 inches. This system really gets into weak steering currents come Tuesday, so this system's not going to move a whole lot inland here. It's going to continue that conveyor belt of moisture into eastern Texas and to western Louisiana here, so this is not very good news, holding the temperatures down. 84 in Houston, 85 in New Orleans, even 82 near Birmingham and Atlanta, 84. Warmer across the Florida Peninsula. And Wednesday across the northeast. Look at this. Wow, it's like a broken record, isn't it? Look at this. Slight risk of severe thunderstorms is another cold front. This is the theme. Another cold front moves back in. It's pretty much the same kind of storm system as you had on Monday. So chance of strong thunderstorms, particularly from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Places like Pittsburgh, Binghamton State College, Syracuse, Albany, Harrisburg, Scranton, up to even as far northeast as Burlington and maybe Concord here. So strong thunderstorms, damaging wind, large hail, the main threat here. Outside of that, look at that. We're getting into the most places into the mid to upper 80s here, near 90 in Harrisburg and well into the 90s in D.C. And here across the southeast, it is almost like a broken record, just like the northeast. You know, this pattern's really stuck. Really weak steering currents for, at this point, would probably be Tropical Depression Nicholas. inland across the piney eastern woods of East Texas here. Continuing the conveyor belt of heavy rain, those feeder bands continuing to move inland here. At this point, we're definitely looking at widespread amounts, continuing of heavy rain, keeping the temperatures down. Places like Houston, New Orleans, and even as far northeast as Birmingham, only the mid 80s here. So big story across the southeast is going to continue to be Tropical Depression Nicholas, and we'll have to see because there's really nothing to kick this system out at this point. There's no large-scale systems to the north to kick Nicholas out. So this is not good news, continuing with heavy rains across East Texas and Louisiana. Extended outlook for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Scranton's Upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York into northeast Pennsylvania. Sunday p.m., particularly from 6 p.m. all the way past midnight, Sunday night. This is for you. 83 degrees early in the evening, and then dropping into the low 70s as those strong thunderstorms move in, anywhere from a quarter to half an inch of rain, large hail, damaging wind, the main threat, particularly between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. On Monday, look at that, clearing out nicely, mix of sun and clouds up near 75, lower humidity, but the humidity's back on the rise as the front moves back to the northeast across our area, 85 degrees with a chance of a late day strong thunderstorm potential. And then Wednesday, you have a better chance of showers and strong thunderstorms, particularly from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. up near 88. And look at that, Thursday, another chance of shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, a little cooler, high near 80. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. Don't forget to give my Facebook pages some love. Media Mark, also Weather Northeastern and Hurricane Northeastern. Twitter at WX Northeastern. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the smash the bell button. If you like this video, smash the like button. And don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, down below.